Hello, welcome back to another video, another review. I haven't done a review for a while. I've been doing Revolver stuff for ages, but I'm back with a proper review. An album that I've been meaning to do now for quite a while. The debut solo album from Brian DeAdrio of the Lemon Twigs, Till the Morning. So, yeah, his debut solo album. So before we go any further, I will show you this one and only copy of the album that I own. So this is the front cover of the album. As you can see, you've got Brian sat playing his guitar outside a house. I believe this is in New York State somewhere. But a lot of the artwork on this album, it looks very like typical English countryside manner. Very whimsical looking, a lot of these places, very fairy tale like. It very much reminds me a lot of this artwork of, if you've ever seen pictures of where Brian Jones used to live in the late 60s. I can't remember the name of the house, but it was also where Winnie the Pooh was written. So yeah, a lot of the artwork on this album looks very much like that house. If I remember, you'll be seeing pictures on the screen of it as well right now. But that's the front cover anyway. And there we have the back cover. Once again, we have a picture of Brian sat on a bench this time, plus the track listing. Yeah, more great artwork. I really like it. Okay then, so this isn't a gatefold, so we'll have a look at what's inside. So first off here, we have a download code. If you're interested in that, you can download the album, which is, you don't get a lot with that with albums these days. I might edit this bit out so you can't see. You might see a picture on your screen instead, so in case you see my download code there. But yeah, you get that. Like I say, you don't get many download codes these days. It used to be a thing about, stopped not so long ago, but you used to get it all the time. You also get this poster of Brian, which I'm pretty sure was used as the single cover for Till the Morning. I really like that picture of Brian. Yeah, that's cool. So you get that nice little poster. Then inside we have the sleeve, which has the lyrics printed as well as personnel for each track, which are printed at the bottom of the lyrics. We've got all the lyrics and the personnel at the bottom. Then on this side we have another picture of Brian once again. I think he's definitely trying to go for that Brian Jones style of house. If you've seen pictures of Brian from that era, Brian Jones, you'll see very much what I mean. But yeah, like I say, here you've got more personnel, like who's produced it and stuff. I'll show you the record now. This is just on black vinyl, if I can get it out. So if I get it the right way around. There you go, that's side one. It looks dusty. Looks like there's dust on it, this album. So hopefully you can see that, side one and side two. Why does this look so dusty? Anyway, yeah, it's just on black vinyl, and it doesn't feel like it's 180 grams either. It just feels, it feels very vintage, kind of like old records, which I can't remember what they used to be on. Was it 140 they used to be on back in the day? It's definitely not 180 gram anyway. So there you go, that is what is included within the album. So I shall now go back to me, sat over there talking about this album. So over to me, go on Ollie. So yeah, apologies, I'm a little bit late with this video, but it's partly my fault, partly not my fault. Like I say, I've been buried for a while under Revolver stuff, doing that Revolver in Depth series, which kind of distracted me from doing normal reviews. But it's also been a funny album, this one, because it was released on March 20th of 2025. But this vinyl copy only came about a week or two ago. Yeah, like I say, it came out back in March, but for some reason, physical copies were not released until about a month or two later. So I could have done this review when it got released on streaming, but in my reviews I like to show you the vinyl copy of it. So yeah, I had to wait for this version to come, which is kind of giving me more time, I suppose, to let the album settle, see how I feel about it, rather, because I don't like doing reviews just as it comes out, because to me albums need time to embed. And I know I can be bad when albums come out of getting the review, because you want to get it out as quick as you can, because without getting into the technical side of YouTube, that's when the views are at their highest, when the albums have just come out, because that's when the interest is at its peak. But you're not kind of giving it your true thought of the album, if that makes sense, because you haven't had time to let it embed within you. Whereas I have had more time with this album now, so I kind of know what songs I like, what songs I don't like, etc. So this review will perhaps be more genuine. Well, not that the other ones aren't genuine, but more, what's the word, more, I don't know what the word is, but it'll come to me later in the video. I'm ever the professional. So this album is the first release on Headstack Records. This is a new record label that has been started up by the Lemon Twigs. I imagine going forward that all Lemon Twigs albums will also be released on Headstack Records. I imagine if Michael DeAdrio does a solo album, which I don't know if he's also going to be doing one, I imagine if he does, his will, well, I don't imagine, it definitely will get released on Headstack Records as well. But Brian is the first release on this new record label. So yes, speaking of the Lemon Twigs, the band that Brian is a part of, I love the Lemon Twigs. They are my favourite band in the world at the minute. In terms of talent, Michael and Brian DeAdria are two of the most talented musicians in the business. They are just in a different league to pretty much most other people in the industry because they have actual talent. They write their own songs. They play virtually every instrument under the sun. Their most recent two albums, Everything Harmony and The Dream Is All We Know, are two fantastic albums. I reviewed both of them. Links should be down below to both those reviews. If you haven't seen those reviews, watch them. Yeah, watch them, definitely watch them. But more importantly, if you haven't heard those albums, give them a listen because they're fantastic. If you love music of the 60s and the 70s, music of the Beatles, the Beach Boys, the Bee Gees, etc., then you will love the Lemon Twigs. They're fantastic. I've seen them live as well since I did my review last year. The Dream Is All We Know, and it's a fantastic live act, the Lemon Twigs. So yeah, brilliant band. I highly recommend them. And this is Brian's first solo album, and I have no idea, to be honest, why he's decided to do a solo album and why this isn't a Lemon Twigs album, because although this is Brian's own name and Brian plays virtually all instruments on this album, Michael also features on this album. He plays instruments on some of the tracks. He does harmonies on most of the tracks, probably 90% of the tracks he's doing harmonies on. He co-produces the album, he engineers on the album. Yeah, he co-writes, I think, 2 songs on the album. So why this isn't a Lemon Twigs album, I don't know. But it's a Brian album, and it's a decent album, but we'll get into that later in the video. Now, as I said there in the bit where I was showing off the album, I love the artwork of this album. It's very, I mean, I think this was taken in New York State, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, it looks very English countryside. Like I said, very Brian Jones, that house Brian Jones lived in where he died. Where Winnie the Pooh was written. It's very much English countryside. I mean, the front cover and the back cover, not that you haven't seen this. And just look how cool Brian is, so is Michael as well, but the fashion, the clothes they wear, it's fantastic. I'd love to own a wardrobe like theirs. I mean, I've got a pretty funky wardrobe as well myself, but not as funky as theirs. But yeah, the artwork on this album I think is fantastic. So the critical reception around this album has also been pretty positive. There's not been all that many reviews of it because it's not a mainstream artist, so I can't tell you a chart position or anything like that because this album didn't chart. But in terms of reviews, Clash scored it 9 out of 10, Record Collector scored it 4 out of 5, and Paste, they only scored it 6.8 out of 10. Paste's criticism of this album was that it sounds too much like the Lemon Twigs. I don't know why they say that's a bad thing, because that is not a bad thing, that is a compliment. If I was Brian, I would take that as a compliment. I mean, he is half of the Lemon Twigs, so of course it's going to sound like the Lemon Twigs, but yeah. Anyway, that's kind of all there is to say on the background about this album. There isn't all that much to say, and there's not that much to say in the track-by-track review either, so this will probably be a shorter review, he says, a shorter video than my usual ramblings of 25-30 minutes, if not more. Hopefully this will stay below 20 minutes, he says, so I'm not rambling on too long. Anyway, let's get into a track-by-track review now, folks. So title track and lead single, Till the Morning, kicks off the LP, and it sets the tone perfectly. It absolutely stinks of the 60s, this song. It's very Revolver, Rubber Soul era sounding Beatles, this song. If you don't like this song, you're not going to like the rest of the album, basically, so I imagine you wouldn't be listening to this album if you didn't like 60s music to start with. But if you somehow are listening to this album and you don't like this song, switch it off, because you're not going to like the rest of the album after this. And you're a bit strange, really, if you don't like this type of music. So one of the best instruments on this track, in my opinion, is the organ. It's kind of subtle on this song. It's in the background, but it's very much driving the song. It's one of those instruments where if you removed it, it would very much ruin the song. But as it stands here, it's sort of hidden in the background, but it's very much driving it. The lyrics on this song are also fantastic. I have them album out here so I can read you some lyrics as we go. If I knew where my mind went, tucked beneath your thighs, I'd go there more often, I'd never arise. Like a straw man collector, your words hypnotise. But I won't check my pockets till the morning. I mean, that's one thing about Brian. He's a fantastic lyricist. I mean, Corner of My Eyes, when winter comes. I've forgotten the name of it. The opening track on Everything Harmony. Oh Christ, what's it called? That song. When Winter Comes Around, that's it. That song, Corner of My Eye, Any Time of Day as well, I think is also Brian. Those are fantastic songs, and Brian, he's just a brilliant lyricist, so yeah, lyrics on this song are also fantastic. I'm very professional, as you can tell. So overall here, I like this song. I think it's a good song. It's a very catchy 60s pop song. It's just everything great about 60s music, this song. So yeah, it sets us off very nicely here. So the acoustic guitar now comes out for track 2, Song for Everyone, and this song absolutely stinks of Simon and Garfunkel. This will be a common trend throughout this video. Simon and Garfunkel will come up a lot. They're probably the biggest influence on this album, I would say, and the biggest vibe throughout it. But this song's interesting because it's not actually the lyrics are written by Brian. They're written by, I should nail this, Stephen Kalinch, I think. Brian's done the music and Stephen Kalinch has done the words. But the music here, it's just basically Brian on an acoustic guitar and his voice, and that's about it. There's some subtle electric guitar as well, but it's pretty much just an acoustic ballad, this song. It's a pretty simple song, this, but it's also very charming. Its simplicity is its charm, I would say. There's also some lovely harmonies on this song when Brian sings the title, when he sings, "A song for everyone." Obviously sang much better and more beautiful sounding than that. But when Brian's singing that line, he's also harmonising with himself, and he's doing this very nice little high harmony, especially at the very end of the song, as in the outro. Yeah, it's very nice. So overall, I like this song as well. Okay then folks, so the pace picks back up with the next song, Nothing on My Mind. And if I had to describe the vibe of this song, it would be sort of a mixture between Manfred Mann and Simon and Garfunkel again. Yeah, it's a really catchy, upbeat, more rocker kind of this song. There's nothing on my mind, sort of goes like that. I don't know why I have a habit now. I've got into this new habit on my videos of starting to sing the songs to you, even though I am fully aware that I cannot sing to save my life, but it doesn't stop me. It's a really catchy tune, this, hence why I've just been singing it to you. It's very Lemon Twigs sounding as well. This is the first song on the album that features Michael. I'm pretty sure Michael is only singing some harmonies on here, but him adding his harmonies and his voice instantly makes this more like the Lemon Twigs. It's also got a great set of lyrics on it, this song, which I shall read you some of the lyrics. Where shall we go? When I was a boy, I was filled with joy. My mother never had a chance. Her vacant stare saw something there, but I never caught a glance. Whoa, there's nothing on my mind, but I just can't keep from crying. A reason I have to find, but I know it's all a lie. Quite dark stuff, really, but yeah, decent set of lyrics. But anyway, again, there's not all that much to say about this song either. Yeah, it's catchy enough, it's decent enough. Yeah, I like it. So the pace slows back down with the 4th track on the album, One Day I'm Coming Home, and this is a highlight of the album, and it is also my favourite track on the album. I bloody love this song. Michael once again features on this song, but this time he's playing an instrument, he's playing the drums, and is he doing harmonies as well? Let's have a look. One Day I'm Coming Home. Harmonies, drums and engineering he's doing on this song. So again, it gives it a more Lemon Twigs twang to it, this song. But yeah, Michael's harmonies, Michael's vocals on here are fantastic. Brian's vocals, is of course a Brian song. Brian's vocals are fantastic, as is his organ. His organ kind of makes this song in some ways. I love the organ, I just, yeah, it comes up a lot in videos these days, how much I love the organ. I don't know why, it just gives it this little whimsical charm whenever there's an organ on a song. So lyrically here, I've interpreted this song as being about a guy who's left his girlfriend, but he's really missing her, and he has every intention of one day going back to her. In fact, I'll read you some of the lyrics now. It's my catchphrase, really. I'll read you the lyrics. Right, where we at? One day I'm coming home. If you don't know my name, I won't feel anything, because I was born to you and you alone, and one day I'm coming home. If I don't see your face, I live in disgrace, because I've been shown what I've been shown, and one day I'm coming home. And if you then speak to me, because I've tried to call and no one answers the phone. And if you need me, then lead me. I want to believe I'm not alone. I might as well finish here. I'll see better days and hope my conscience stays, because I was a child before I'd grown, and one day I'm coming home. I've read you the whole song there, but yeah. So overall, fantastic song. It's my favourite on the album. I really do enjoy this song. It's what Brian does best, this type of song. Yeah, One Day I'm Coming Home is a fantastic song, and I recommend it. Only to Ease My Mind comes along next, and once again, this is another slow song. It's very Simon and Garfunkel sounding. Notice the trend here. Paul Simon, Art Garfunkel, they're coming up quite a bit, aren't they? Anyway, yes, once again, like I say, slower song. Michael features on this song. This time he's on, what's Michael doing on here again? I should know this. Michael's on vocals, guitar and engineering on this song. So, again, it gives it that Lemon Twigs twang, this song. You know, harmonies. No modern bands really do harmonies like the Lemon Twigs do. I don't know why. I mean, back in the 60s and the 70s, everyone did harmonies, whereas now no one does it. And I think the reason probably is because modern technology means there's all these different sounds that are a lot easier to create with computers and stuff, so you don't need to use harmonies, your voice, as much to fill in space, if that makes sense. It was a lot more barer back then because you couldn't use, there was very primitive synthesizers, but you didn't have the technology you have now. So you can only really use guitar, drums, bass, piano, etc. Bit of keyboards maybe, but otherwise you need to fill it with something a bit different, something a bit interesting, and the human voice is the most beautiful instrument really, and harmonies is a very beautiful way of filling in space, but you don't need to do that anymore really. I'm rambling on here, but I hope I'm making sense. But yeah, I'm going off topic here because I haven't got a lot to say about this song. It's decent enough and I like it, but it's nothing special. But yeah, it's decent enough. So closing out side one of the LP, we have Flash in the Pan, which is very George Harrison sounding. This song would not sound out of place on All Things Must Pass, especially with some of its harmonies and the fact it's talking about God and stuff like that. Michael once again features on this song. He's on drums, bass and harmonies on here, and yeah, I think Brian is on everything else. Where we at, personnel, yeah, it's just Michael and Brian on this song. So once again, it's got that very much Lemon Twigs twang. I'll put that down and I bet I'll be reading the lyrics again in a second. Now, one thing about this song is it feels remarkably short. Now, the album as a whole, I didn't say this at the start and I should have done, it's only about 36 minutes long, and I love albums that are that length. To me, 35 to 45 minutes, that's the sweet spot. If you're too short, if you're shorter than that time, your album feels incomplete. If you go over that time, it just feels like it's going on far too long. But if you're in the 35 to 45 minute mark, then you've hit the ball out the park. And this one's 36 minutes, which means because it's very 60s sounding as well, and they've gone for that 60s style, a lot of the songs are very short, and this is one of them. It's only about 2 minutes 20 or something like that, and it feels remarkably short, this song. It just feels like it's getting started and then it's over. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I mean, a lot of great songs are like that. It's better to leave you wanting more than to drag it out too long. But yeah, it does feel remarkably short, this song. Brian's vocals, once again, on this song are fantastic, as are Michael's harmonies. Very 60s sounding, like I say. There's not really all that much to say about this one either. Other than I like it, and it closes out side one very nicely. Right then, folks, we've reached that point of the video. It's time to take the needle off, take the record off, flip it over, put it back down, needle back on, and kicking off side two, we have a piano ballad called Company, which is a very McCartney sounding piano ballad. Now, I've got to be honest with you here, I don't really know how I feel about this song kicking off side two because it's very slow. It probably would have been better as the closing track on side one and then side two kicking off with Flash in the Pan, so it was a bit more of an upbeat song to kick off side two. But as it stands, this is a bit of a slower way to start it and a bit of a downbeat way to start it, really. So anyway, halfway through the song, a synthesizer comes in and it kind of replaces the piano. So half the song's a piano ballad and half the song's more synthesizer heavy. And I kind of like when the synth comes in because it makes it a more whimsical sounding song. But overall, this one, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not one of my favourites on the album. It's decent enough, it's not a bad song. There's not really any bad songs on this album. But yeah, this one just doesn't really do anything for me, this one. But it's not a bad song. So the pace picks back up a little bit with the next song entitled This Summer, which kicks off with Brian instantly telling us that he wants to die. So it's a cheery song, isn't it? Now, once again, Michael features on this song, which again gives it a Lemon Twigs vibe. Of all the songs on the album, this is probably the most everything harmony sounding song. It kind of sounds a little bit like In My Head. So In My Head on Everything Harmony, that was written by Michael. Whereas this song seems like it's Brian's version of In My Head. It's decent enough. I don't think it's as good a song as In My Head, but there's not really that much to say about it. It's decent enough, but it's not one of my favourite songs that's ever been written. It's not my favourite song on the album by any means. It's one of the weaker tracks, in my opinion, but again, it's not a bad song. But yeah, this summer I want to kill, what is it? This summer I kill myself. Just cheery anyway. What You Are Is Beautiful comes along next, which once again slows things back down. We go back into the realm of Simon and Garfunkel here, and I'm pretty sure, am I correct? Yes, this is the other song on the album which Stephen Kalinch has written the words for and Brian has done the music for. Now, can I start off here by saying how good a guitarist Brian is? I'm pretty sure is it a 12 string he's playing here? But he's finger picking away and it's just beautiful. This song is just Brian's voice and his acoustic guitar. There's no electric guitar or anything else on here. It's just Brian and acoustic guitar. And the man, what a talent Brian D'Adrio is. The fact he can play guitar like this and he can sing like this. The vocals on this song, they're very Brian Wilson sounding. It's that falsetto that Brian Wilson did back in the 60s on albums like Pet Sounds. It's brilliant, man. Brian's brilliant at this kind of thing. Brian D'Adrio and Brian Wilson. Everyone's called Brian, aren't they? It's your typical love song as well, these lyrics. I mean, I'll read you some anyway. Through your eyes of sadness, I see meadows and flowers of yellow gold, fields of daffodils and roses, all that nature exposes, in a quilt of orange. What you are is beautiful, you don't even know. What you are is beautiful, you have that special glow. I mean, It's a beautiful song. It's one of them silly love songs. You can't beat a silly love song. You'd think people would have had enough of silly love songs, but obviously it's not so. So overall, again, I really like this song. I think of all the songs so far on side 2, this is the best one. It's one of the better tracks on the album, this one as well. Yeah, it's a beautiful song. Brian's voice is very angelic. I really like this song. So Useless Tears comes along next, which instantly pulls you in with a string section. You can't beat a good old string section, eh? Now once again here we have some beautiful finger-picking guitar by Brian, but it's kind of the strings that make this song. They kind of overshadow everything on this song. Now Brian's vocals on here, once again, they're fantastic. He's once again doing that falsetto type of thing, that Brian Wilson style of vocal. But I've got to be honest with you here, I haven't really gelled with this song, and I feel like I should really like this song, but because I normally really like string songs like this, but I can't get into this one. I don't know if it's the strings themselves. They sound a bit Phil Spector well, not even Wall of Sound, but they're very Phil Spector sounding, Phil Spector-esque. And often with Phil Spector stuff, I just find it over the top, and I don't know if that's my problem with this song. The strings, I mean, the strings do make the song, but they also feel a bit completely over the top, like they're overpowering everything else on the song. And I feel like it should be Brian and his acoustic guitar that's very much in the driving force here, and the strings are in the background, but yeah, it just feels a bit over the top, this song, and I just can't gel with it, I'm sorry. And finally here, folks, we come to the closing track on the album, the beautiful Spirit Without a Home. This starts off with just Brian on the piano, and then eventually his vocals kick in, and then eventually all the other instruments kick in. Now the lyrics on this song are fantastic. I'm going to read you them now. All my life I spent with you, now I'm lost, always asking God to help me see how to be secretly. I would not forget you if I could. I'll romanticize the time long ago. Yeah, very good lyrics. Now, there's not like, I mean, look, I'll show you here. That there, if you can see that, that's all the lyrics on this song. There really isn't a lot compared to the rest of the album, especially the track before it. But yeah, there's not a lot of lyrics here. And yeah, it's the longest song on the album, but it doesn't feel it. It's a really nice song. It's my second favorite on the album. Yeah, it's a highlight of the album, this song. Yeah, highlight of the album. It's a really good song. I really like it. So overall then, folks, I've got to be honest with you here. I can't come here and say that I love this album. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it. The one word I've used continuously since I first heard this album is underwhelmed. I just feel, having heard what Brian can do with the Lemon Twigs, that this is underwhelming. It's nowhere near the level of greatness of Everything Harmony and A Dream Is All We Know. It just feels a bit like songs that weren't good enough for the Lemon Twigs. And, you know, they're still good songs for the most part, but I can only really come on here and say that I love two of the songs, One Day I'm Coming Home and Spirit Without a Home. Both mentioning home, isn't it? Yeah, both use the word home. They're the only two really great songs that I love on this album. Everything else isn't bad, but I wouldn't go out my way to listen to it. If I was going to be listening on streaming, I'd probably just be happy listening to them two songs and then go and listen to Lemon Twigs albums, to be honest. I can't even really put my finger on what is my problem with this album, because but on paper it's a great album, and you know, when I sit here and I'm describing each of the tracks, I'm pretty much saying good things. I haven't really said there's any bad songs on here, but it just feels like it's lacking something, and I can't put my finger on it. It feels like it's just, well, like I still can't put my finger on it, so yeah. But it's lacking something, this album, in my opinion. Now, if you've made it this far into the video and you've never heard anything by Brian DeAndrea or the Lemon Twigs, for the love of God, go with the Lemon Twigs first. Listen to either Everything Harmony or A Dream Is All We Know. Personally, I would say A Dream Is All We Know is where to start. But don't start with this, because you'll probably listen to this and think, oh, is that it? Yeah. I hope we're getting another Lemon Twigs album soon. I don't know, like I say, if the fact Brian's done a solo album, does it mean Michael's also going to be doing one? But I do hope we get a new Twigs album. To me, this feels like it's just something to tie us over. It almost feels like it was just Brian wanting to get some songs out that he feels that are just going to keep gathering dust because they're not good enough for the Lemon Twigs. Maybe it's just me that feels like this. Maybe some people think this is the best thing he's ever done. But for me, it just feels a bit underwhelming, in my personal opinion. So that's all I've got to say here. So yeah, there we go. Let me know what you think anyway. So I'll finish the video here. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Let me know in the comments, do you like this album? Do you not like this album? Have you heard it? Have you not heard it? I think some of the tracks are being done live by the Lemon Twigs at the minute. But the last time I seen them, I don't think anything was done live of this album because it hadn't been announced at that point. Yeah, like I say, hopefully a new Lemon Twigs album will be coming along soon, maybe by the end of this year. Who knows? But anyway, I'm pleased we've got this. I'd rather have this than not have it, just for the record. And it's not a bad album, I just don't love it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll end the video here. So yeah, see you on a future video. Bye bye.